Amid ongoing tensions over U.S. immigration policies, Bishop Mark Seitz of El Paso, Texas, met with Pope Leo. He says he delivered letters and videos from immigrants in the U.S. worried about deportation. The bishop told EWTN that the Holy Father was visibly emotional and deeply moved by their stories. EWTN News Vatican correspondent Valentina DiDonato has more.
During a private audience at the Vatican with an American delegation, Pope Leo XIV received messages from the immigrant community in the United States, including letters from immigrants expressing their fears over deportation under the Trump administration's policies. EWTN spoke with Bishop Mark Seitz of El Paso, who chairs the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops Committee on Migration, and presented the messages to Pope Leo XIV.
An interesting exchange that took place very early on when he said he'd watched the video with us. He said, "I'm sorry we can't sit down because we don't have time." And I said, "Holy Father, we're so happy to stand with you." Later on in the meeting, he came back to that and he said, in matters of injustice, the church has to speak. And in that, I stand with you.
The audience with the U.S. bishops came as tensions over U.S. immigration policy and enforcement continue to rise, with protests against ICE processing and National Guard deployment, even in Chicago, where Pope Leo was born.
It's always the role of the bishop to speak the gospel, to reflect on that gospel and its implications for our daily lives. And while we are not politicians, it's not our task to develop rules and laws. We are responsible to help form consciences, bring people back to the basic underlying principles, which, by the way, are principles upon which our country was built, about the dignity of every person, about the fact that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that those rights have to be respected in law.
The private audience also came just as Pope Leo XIV addressed the global reality and plight of immigrants in his apostolic exhortation, Dilexit Te. Bishop Seitz spoke to the root causes and crisis that cause migration and the need to remain focused on the dignity of the human person.
Anyone who has been to many parts of the world, I've been to Latin America many times, and see what they're experiencing with the power of criminal gangs and so on, that are supported by our drug addiction in the United States. When you see how violent those places can be, how threats can be made against families and loved ones with no concern for them, then you begin to see that they did exactly what we people here in this country would readily do if we found ourselves in the same situation. They ran to a place of security.
In Rome, Valentina DiDonato for EWTN News Nightly.